State commander has been killed in a US-led coalition raid in the town of Ataimi in northwestern Idlib province. The target was identified as Salah Numan, an Iraqi national known as Ali, described as one of IS's most dangerous figures. He was accused of mobilizing sleeper cells across Syria. Witnesses reported the raid took place shortly after midnight with the sound of aircraft and gunfire. Numan was reportedly shot dead after jumping from a balcony while his wives were arrested. Iraqi intelligence is said to have provided the lead for the operation. The coalition has not confirmed the strike, but it follows a series of recent raids in Idlib targeting Islamic State operatives. Though this was territorial defeated years ago, its fighters still remain a presence in Syria's deserts and launch periodic attacks. Let's listen in to what the building's owner had to say.
الساعة 2:30 تقريبا بالليل سمعنا أصوات برا. طلعنا لبرا ولا كان التحالف برا، صاروا ينادوا استسلم استسلم وارفع ايديك. مو مسلمت حالي، كنت انا اول واحد بطلع من البيت، فصرت نادي لاهلي، صاروا يقولوا لي طبعا في اللي كان عم يحكي لهجته عراقية المترجم، صار عم استسلم استسلم وارفع ايديك. قالوا نادي لاهلك، ناديت لكل شيء موجود جوا، طلعوا لبرا.
We are once again joined by Keith Vaz. Keith, obviously sanctions were lifted in Syria after Donald Trump did so after the fall of Bashar al-Assad. However, we now see reports that what many people feared, that IS is still operating in small areas of the country. What does this say about the stability of Syria, the way that terrorists can function in that region?
Well, what it says, Thomas, is that Syria is still unstable. The removal of the Assad regime and the election, not the election, the appointment of this new government, there have been no elections, President Trump going over and shaking hands, etc., with a new leader, has not meant that Syria is stable. And we are witnessing that with what the Americans have done. It's not just the Americans, it's also a coalition. I imagine the Arab nations were also part of this, trying to destroy the base of IS. You can't really kill the beast. We found with Middle East policy, you might chop off one head, but another monster grows. So I don't know who this person is. I don't know what role he has. We only tend to know about these people after they are dead and after they are described as being the most terrible people who've ever walked the earth. But we have to believe what we are told. Otherwise, there's no point in watching the news or listening to any briefings. They say he's a bad man. They say they've taken him out. But what it shows is that there are still major problems in Syria. The Syrian government does not control Syria. There are different factions, and it does pose a threat and a risk to the other people who live there. Diplomacy does not work in a case of this kind because there's no one to negotiate with. You can't invite the leader of IS to come and to visit us in the White House or wherever. You have to deal with them in this way. But I think what it does show is there are real problems coming Syria's way in the future. This particular story is not over.
Keith